What's up, Taiwan? Good morning. I'm Ethan Liu with 10 minutes of news from here in Taiwan and around the world. Taiwan's Railway Workers Union has passed the motion to strike on the number of major travel days in the coming months. The union says its members will not work during local elections in November, a time when many people will travel to their hometowns to vote. They also are refusing to work overtime for the Mid-Autumn Festival in September and National Day in October. The Taiwan Railways Administration failed last week to reach a deal with the union on salaries and benefits as the government agency transitions to a state-owned company. People in Taiwan are starting to travel more as the country loosens its COVID-19 travel restrictions. But insurance companies are making it harder for travelers who want to head abroad. Bing Wang explains.
As countries start welcoming visitors from around the world, Taiwanese people are jumping on the opportunity to travel again. According to Taiwan's main international airports, 150,000 people traveled overseas last month. That's 100,000 more people than in July last year. But travelers are facing a new risk, a lack of insurance options.
保险业者呢都取消了旅行平安保险、海外的这种突发疾病医疗保单、旅行业契约责任保险里面的旅行不便，目前还是被保险公司在取消的阶段。
That means there's no way for travelers to cover the costs if they get sick in a foreign country. At least 15 of Taiwan's largest travel insurance companies have stopped selling insurance that covers sudden illness, which includes COVID-19. Apart from the risk posed to travelers, it also means that it's now practically impossible to travel to countries which require COVID coverage. Insurance brokers have said that insurers are losing money.
因为疫情的关系嘛，所以民众呢很多都有买防疫险，对不对？那因为在防疫险的理赔上，大部分的保险公司都超出了这个可以负荷的范围。但是因为在国外的部分还是有很多比较难掌控的趋势，所以它会影响保险公司对于危险的估计。
People are saying that a lack of insurance options mean they'd rather not travel at all.
如果因为没有医疗保障的话，可能现在变种病毒那么多，可能就是不会出国。
After almost 3 years of the COVID-19 pandemic and with Taiwan loosening its quarantine restrictions, there's concern this decision by insurance companies could damage the tourism industry just as it starts to recover. Kama Xu and Bing Wang for TaiwanPlus.
Taiwan has reported its smallest gender income gap in more than a decade. A report from the Finance Ministry revealed that in 2020, men earned 1.5 times what women did on average. The average income for men was nearly $22,000. It is the first time the gender pay gap has fallen to this level since the ministry began tracking the data in 2006. Taiwan celebrated its National Indigenous Peoples Day on Monday. In the southern county of Pingtung, the Taiwan people, the country's second largest indigenous group, convened their first National Assembly. Rick Lauer reports.
Members of the Taiwan National Assembly take their oath of office in a small rural village in southern Taiwan. They hope this newly established legislature, made up of representatives from the Taiwan Indigenous group in villages and communities across southern Taiwan, can give them more power and control over their own affairs.
I think it's like to get together all the powers, all the voices from the different Taiwan communities to get together, and then we have like a how to say. We have the platform to talk to each other, and then the Taiwan parliaments, they have their own board organization, board team, so they can bring our voices, even the little voices from the community, to the world or to the Taiwanese government.
Taiwan is home to 600,000 indigenous people. For centuries, they were mistreated, their lands taken away, and their culture and language repressed. After current President Tsai Ing-wen was elected in 2016, she issued an apology to Indigenous people and passed a law protecting and promoting Indigenous rights. Taiwan, of which there are about 100,000, is the second largest Indigenous group in the nation.
This is the first time Taiwan people have had their own formal legislative body and is expected to be the largest Indigenous assembly in the country. The people elected here will discuss matters concerning the community, such as land, the local economy, and protecting Taiwan customs and languages.
But they also have a bigger mission: to encourage the government to recognise Indigenous people as the rightful owners of Taiwan and grant them greater autonomy.
我们成立民族议会第一个最主要就是我们民族的地位要重新再确立。我们是台湾的主人，如果说包括外来的民族的话，我们也是长子，那我们必须要存在的地位跟实质的价值。那既然要有存在的地位，我们必须要走向民主自治的一个政治行政体系。
The original inhabitants of Taiwan have for years been treated like second-class citizens in their own homeland. But with the convening of this assembly, they hope one day to meet Taiwan's government on an equal footing. James Rayner and Rick Lowett in Pingdong County for TaiwanPlus.
Ghost Month is underway in Taiwan. Traditionally, this means avoiding water activities because it is believed ghosts can pull swimmers underwater and drown them. But as Yu Jingwan reports, those beliefs are changing.
A seaside full of people doing water activities. It looks like a typical hot summer weekend in Taiwan. But for the older generation, water sports could be an invitation to danger. Taoists and Buddhists believe that during this month, the ghosts are released from hell and allowed to roam the earth. Some temples will even close the gates in front of the gods, as though the gods are turning a blind eye on the ghost activities for the coming month. But attitudes towards Ghost Month taboos are shifting.
有时候就是老人说，就是尽量在家里就在家里，还有就是如果要出去买东西还是什么，我也是没关系，就出去然后赶快回来是这样。
因为其实不管是鬼月或一般日子，我们进行水上活动，任何活动都要注意自身的安全，因为通常这里出事的都是他没有带辅具。
In the past, it would have been very unusual to have an art exhibition during Ghost Month, featuring spooky things like the gates of hell and paper money burned for the dead. But in modern-day Taiwan, many people are shrugging off these taboos, and displays like these can actually draw a crowd and spark a conversation.
过去谈论这些事情，我们是如何想象鬼怪的，我们是如何害怕鬼怪的，这件事情其实是让我们团结起来的，让我们意识到我们是同一个文化圈的方法啊。那反过来说，如果我们今天刻意的，譬如大家本来在那边讲鬼故事讲得很开心，忽然就有一个人跳出来说，不，你们现在讲的都是假的啊，鬼怪不存在的，这个人看起来不就很讨厌吗？
Ghosts were created to explain irrational fears and warn people away from danger. And while belief in the supernatural is less prevalent in Taiwan, some superstitions remain. That's because they connect us to our ancestors and to one another. Piper Yo, Klein Wang, Cindy Ji, and Yu Junhuang for TaiwanPlus.
Iguanas have been discovered naturally reproducing in Ecuador's Galapagos Islands for the first time in more than a century. Galapagos National Park said scientists and rangers have found the offspring of more than 3,000 iguanas that were reintroduced to Santiago Island in 2019. The return of the species to the islands means these animals can once again play their important role in the ecosystem. Thank you for watching What's Up Taiwan. Remember to download the TaiwanPlus app for more stories from Taiwan and around the world. Finally, today we leave you with images of families racing go-karts with no engine through the streets of Bolivia. I'm Ethan Liu. Take care, and I'll see you next time.